What's going on, guys? I'm Jiffy Nano and welcome back to Borderlands 3. And today we're back on Athenas. We've got a Fl4k build guide for you. And I was quite pleased with this. I might have some gameplay playing in the background of me running around in the Cistern of Slaughter while I talk about this a little bit. I was quite pleased with this, and I set out this whole build was I set out to not use any of the weapons that everyone's freaking out about and the ones that are getting nerfed, like not to use any of the super high damage, high hype weapons, and to make a Fl4k build that had nothing to do with the crit build or fadeaway. And I think it worked out pretty well. I was pleasantly surprised with how well it works. And this is the kind of build that you would sit back. You're going to want to sit back and, and pepper the enemy while your pet takes the brunt of the damage. If you're playing with friends, you're going to sit back and let them brunt all the damage while you hang back a little bit and then just lay down covering fire and take enemies out from a distance. I have a more aggressive style build in a similar vein to this one, but this one was like, I'm gonna hang back a little bit. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna do the best I can and not take any damage while my pet is taking all the damage and or my friends are taking all the damage and I'm doing work from a distance. So back here, this is our spec. We've got Gamma Burst. We're gonna send our pet out into the middle of the enemies, and we'll talk about the augments in a second. So Gamma Burst creates a rift that your pet teleports your pet through, dealing radiation damage to nearby enemies. Your pet gets bigger, does more damage, and I think has more health. And you can res your pet with this. It's super nice. We're going far enough down the master tree to get Atomic Aroma, so your pet deals damage in a bubble around him, which is super nice. This helps proc things like Who Rescued Who, which your pet needs to deal damage to heal you, so your pet's constantly dealing damage to other things, regardless of whether it's attacking stuff or not. And then Empathic Rage, which gives you a 20% damage increase. You could also go for Endurance instead of Atomic Aroma, but I like Atomic Aroma because it was helping proc Who Rescued Who a lot, and some of my other skills. So, but Endurance is really good too because it'll help extend the duration of Gamma Burst. So the first skill we're taking is Ferocity. We've got 5 points into this. For the pet damage, this is mostly so we can get farther down on the tree. I think overall pet damage is just better than the critical hit damage because you're only going to hit the first hit is the only one that's critical hit, so that's not super good in my opinion. Persistence Hunter for more gun damage and action skill duration, so you get your 20% damage boost for longer. Who Rescued Who? This is a lot of your healing. So whenever your pet deals damage, you heal 2% of your max health per second, and then you give your pet 5% lifesteal of the damage you're doing. So if you do 1,000 damage, they're getting 5% of that to them. Heat Bites. This is kind of like damage reduction for your pet. I have 2 extra points in this, so it's a 25% chance to reflect damage. This makes it so the pet takes less damage. You don't want your pet to die, but he's not going to die very often with this going on. Barbaric Yap for 200% pet bonus. It's going to give you more 200% the bonus to your pet, so it's triple. And I'm using the Great Horn Skag for a 30% gun damage and 15% damage overall, and that calculates in it automatically. So this is usually like 10% and then 5%. So that 30% gun damage is a pretty nice boost. Mutated Defenses, I had an extra point and I threw it into this because it gives him health regen and makes him a little harder to kill, so he can keep taking damage for you. So going over here to the Stalker Tree, I put 5 points into Self-Repairing System for the maximum health regen. For the max health and the health regen. Because we're taking all my BFFs, I'm trying to give as much health regen to my pet as possible, and if you're playing in co-op, you can give your friends some health regen as well. I didn't go to eager to impress because all of your damage is coming from while Gamma Burst is active. You're probably not gonna be killing much while your action skill is down. So this is not gonna help you much. If you have extra points or don't want to put something in, like, you could probably take the point out of mutated defenses or something like that and put it into this, but I have a class mod that puts a little bit in there. It's just not going to help as much, unfortunately. You'll just have to wait in between cooldowns. I did put Furious Attack. Every time you shoot an enemy, you get gun damage for up to 10 stacks, so you can get up to 20% gun damage, which is just, you know, fantastic. All my BFFs, everybody gets 50% of your health regen. Your pet gets double, so your pet gets full, all of your health regen. Lick the Wounds, just because this is always a good skill to have no matter what. If you're going down this tree enough to take this, take it every time. Turn Tail and Run. This is mostly for the 25% gun damage while standing still, because you're going to be standing back, taking pot shots at things and dealing damage while everyone else is doing stuff. You're going to have that 25% gun damage most of the time. But if you need health regen, you can just move around a little bit. Fast and Furious, while above full half health, Fl4k gets gun damage and movement speed. So while you're above half health, you get 25% gun damage. This is, you're gonna stay back, you're gonna hang out, you're gonna do your best not to take any damage. So you should have this most of the time. And we've got some skills and some gear to help you keep this up as often as possible. Because some of our gear and stuff like that, and hopefully your pet is taking most of the damage and keeping most of the attention, you're also going to have Hidden Machine 9 times out of 10. So this is another 30% damage for you. And then we go to the power inside, because you want to start, because you're going to be staying back and you want to start your encounters at full health and staying back. You're going to be having this at full health at most of the time, so you'll get another 50% damage increase. And I think that lasts for pretty much the duration of, almost the full duration of your Gamma Burst. So that's the build, that's the spec for the skills. Like I said earlier, I made a point to not use weapons that everyone else was using. I have a Butcher, I have a Fl4k and stuff in here. I have the Hellwalker. I was using the one pump chump and that really worked well. I've used the Lyota. I made a point to not use weapons that we normally use. So I have the Febert in here, and this is just a solid shotgun, does high damage. The Unforgiven, because if you can get a headshot with it, because you're standing still getting a headshot, you're gonna get a hell of a shot out of that. The Handsome Jackhammer, this could be literally, what else do I have in here? I have some SMG that I didn't even know existed. Yeah, the Hyperfocus, like this thing. I was using this thing, and I'll use the shock one, using the Hyperfocus, and it was like, it was going. The idea here is I'm using whatever I have, and it's doing work. The Chaos, one of my favorite guns, just because it causes explosions. And one of the things that really helps is the Red Fang. So the Red Fang class mod, when a Gamma Burst is active, Fl4k's pet taunts all enemies. This makes it so you don't have to worry about things attacking you while Gamma Burst is active. So you've got your Hidden Machine going all the time. You don't have to worry about losing health because everything's attacking your pet. And as long as you're shooting stuff, you're keeping your pet alive. The Berserker Auto Idle. Every time you get a kill, it heals you for 18% of your max health. I have that and a Knife Drain static charge. So if you do end up having enemies that are super close to you, you could just melee them and get all your health back. I have a Stormfront in here for shields, but I also have a Transfusion Grenade because more healing just in case. Using the Rerouter, but it doesn't really matter. If you want to try and snipe and get like one shots and stuff, Rerouter's perfect for that. I also have the Moxie's Embrace, so when you're playing with friends, that's another 5% health regen to help them out, or the Transformer if you feel like you're taking a lot of shock damage. But yeah, the whole idea for this was my grenade's a sniper rifle, was I don't want to have to use specific weapons at all. So we're going to run through Athena's here, and if you're wondering why I'm always on Athena's, it's a good mix of red health and shields and then some armor, which is pretty much the entirety of this game. You don't run into armor a whole very often, mostly red health and shields. So I'm just going to throw him out there. He's going to taunt all the enemies. Attack him. And I'm doing a very bad job of hurting things right now. Mostly because of this Nog. But like, yeah, no, it tears stuff up. It does perfectly fine. And, you know, because your pet is taunting everything, I can stand back here. Take shots off with my Unforgiven. I don't have to care. So yeah, like I said, this is like a, you know, stay back. Oh, I lit myself on fire. Stay back. Deal damage while your pet's up there taking the brunt of the fight. And as long as you're shooting stuff, your pet's not going to die. I think my pet's only died a couple times, and that's because I had really bad modifiers. Which, speaking of which, what are my modifiers right now? 45% more normal bullet damage, skill damage, and cooldown rate. Alright, so for the most part, that's not really hurting me. It's actually, or helping me. It's actually hurting me because I'm using elemental guns. See, like, look at that. I'm having zero issue. And yeah, is it the most powerful build in the world? No. It's not the most powerful build. Not at all. Does it do fine? Yeah. It has no trouble whatsoever. And I kind of wanted to make a point that you don't have to be using the crit build. You don't have to be using the best guns in the game to do well in this game. And I like that. I like that they're pushing for more build diversity and more gun diversity. I don't feel like I have to use the Unkempt Herald like I did in Borderlands 2. I don't feel like I have to play as Salvador to deal massive damage. Also, the Feebert's ridiculous. You should try it. Drops from Wick and Wardy in on Athena's, or not on Athena's, on Promethea. But like, look, I'm doing just fine without it. 18k, that's really good. Transfusion. There, full health. Don't have to worry about that. My pet's hurting a little bit, but if I shoot some things... Oop, pet's dying. See, that's the only time I've had trouble, is if I get hurt and my cooldowns are off. Luckily, that guy sucks. How did I just kill myself with that? And then your pet can heal you. Can res you. This flamethrower heavyweight's gonna mess me up, man. Cool. See, and like that's the only time I ever have trouble, is when something happens and it knocks me off of my rotation. But even then, like, it wasn't that bad. And this is way more entertaining, for me at least, than walking up to stuff, turning invisible, and just blowing them up. So, anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and let me know in the comments if you want to see more. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing and checking out my Twitch channel, where I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I play Borderlands, Destiny 2, and other things, so check that out. The link will be in the pinned comment underneath the video, because YouTube doesn't like to recommend videos with Twitch links in the description anymore. Don't forget to hit that bell so YouTube actually shows you my uploads. And like I said, thanks for watching. You guys are badasses. I'll see you guys in the next one.